Hey, Shalom, what's going on, Bmore? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We're going to get it in tonight. You understand me? We're going to go into, we're going to go into what happened before slavery, man. You know, because in the United States, they teach us that we were nothing but slaves. That before slavery, we did not do anything. Hit that light for me out. Wow. That before slavery, we did not do anything and we were not anything. You understand? So we're gonna break it down where we came from and how we ended up in West Africa. Understand that? So we're gonna get into this tonight. We're gonna go there. Look, Septimius Severus. And the only reason why I bring him up is because when we got to Europe, he was the one that broke the chokehold of Rome. He was the one that led the revolt to break us out of Rome. And that's why I bring this brother up. Septimius Severus, he was a black gladiator. Because when Rome put us into slavery, they trained our people as gladiators, just like they do today. Just like they train Mike Tyson, just like they train all the basketball and football players. Because of course we are the best athletes. So we the one that get the contracts. It was the same back then. We were the ones that got the contracts that everybody betted on in the Roman Empire. So we were taught in the gladiatorial games, man. And Septimius Severus was one of those. That's a name you'll hear in the UPK often. But first, we're going to go to from Babylon to Timbuktu. We're going to get page 84 from Babylon to Timbuktu. Matter of fact, until he come back, I'll read that. Until he come back, I'll read that. Wow. But give me Luke 21 and 20. Okay. Now, Septimius Severus was fighting in the gladiatorial games in Rome. So how did we get to Rome and up in Europe? The white man told us that we were in Africa swinging on trees. We didn't have shelter in Africa. We didn't have nothing. We didn't know. We were basically hunter-gatherers. That's what the white man said. And he came to Africa and freed us from that, right? Put us into slavery for a while, you understand? And then he gave us a life outside of Africa. That's a goddamn lie. Look, we're going to find out what we were doing in Europe. And we're going to get, this is from Babylon to Timbuktu. We're on page 84. And we're going to find out what happened to get us up in Europe. All right? This is page 84. This is the second paragraph. And I quote, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. Look, Rome decided to destroy us, man. They surrounded Jerusalem, man, and they started slaughtering us. And the ones that they didn't kill and destroy, what they did was put us into slavery. I think somebody had to go out. Wow. Wow. All right. What they didn't take, they put us directly into slavery. So this is General Vespasian. He is a general of Rome. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep on with this. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrageous atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. So after General Vespasian and his son Titus surrounded Jerusalem and started killing us, and they started murdering us and slaughtering us in all kinds of ways, right? They started doing great atrocities against the residue of the people, meaning the people that was left in Jerusalem, they started doing great atrocities to us, man. Our women, our children. And look, we're going to keep on. We're in the book From Babylon to Timbuktu, and we finding out what black people was doing before slavery. What were we doing? After they put us out, after they put an end to the Jewish state, which was in Israel. So we're going to keep reading with that. Matter of fact, you can come over here. That's fine. And I'm going to need you to read after I finish this one, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. During the period of military governors of Palestine, many outrageous atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, now Pompey and Julius were, Pompey was a general of Rome, and Gaius Julius Caesar, he was the emperor of Rome. So this is a time span from the period from Pompey to Julius. Pompey to Julius. It has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Over 1 million of us fled into Africa. And this is chronicled in the Bible, and we're going to read that in a second. All right? Fleeing from the Roman oppression and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. All right? So this is how Septimius Severus got into Rome and into Europe. All right, now Septimius lived around the time of 193 AD. So this was his parents, his people that had got murdered in Israel by the Romans, and the Romans had black people in Rome as slaves and as gladiators, because gladiators were actually slaves. And they would teach us the gladiatorial arts, of course, because we are the best athletes, just like they do today. We're the best basketball, football players. Right. Yes, sweetie, you got a question? Say again? You know what? I'm going to show how we got to Africa. All right? I'm going to show exactly how we got to Africa. Because after they put an end to Israel, the ones that heeded the words of Christ, and we will hear Christ's words in a second, they went into Africa. That was our ancestors, the Judites. They went into Africa. Some of them, a lot of them. Some of the people who did not heed the word of Christ, they stayed in Israel when the Roman army surrounded it, trying to fight, and they were destroyed. They were slaughtered. They did great atrocities against the residue of the people, meaning the little people that were left, they murdered. So, and then they took us into slavery. So most of us went up into Europe. You hear me? You hear me? Most of us went up into Europe and in Rome as slaves. And this guy here is Septimius Severus. Septimius Severus was a gladiator fighting in the gladiatorial games. He was the one that eventually toppled Rome. He was the leader. He was a gladiator that took up arms against Rome, and along with some of the tribes and a black slave that were there were able to topple Rome. And black folks were able to rule, and we're gonna get into that more too. Matter of fact, let's get the words of Christ. You got Luke 21 and 20. Luke 21 and 20.
Luke 21 and 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
That means when you see Jerusalem surrounded with the Roman army, when you see the Roman army coming into Jerusalem, ready to make war, go ahead.
Then know that the desolation therefore is nigh.
Know that the desolation has come. The desolation means the destruction of Israel. Christ prophesied that. Because by the time Christ was born, the Roman Israel or Judea at the time was a Roman province, meaning Rome had taken over Judea, was governing Judea. All right? So, but you still had zealots and people fighting against Rome. Rome went on and said, we just going to destroy Israel. And this had been prophesied by Christ when he was among us. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Flee to the mountains. This was Christ telling us to flee towards the mountains, which was on the way to West Africa. So we had to pass by Egypt, keep on down the Middle East and the Gaza Strip and all of that today, which is there today. And we're going to look at a map of Africa and what Africa looked like in the 1700s. And when we went into Africa, we set up a kingdom of Judah right there in Africa. A kingdom of Judah. It's on the map. It's on the map in both Europe and America, because Judah was actually the slave coast. That's what they called Judah, the kingdom that we built in Africa. All right, so Christ is telling us, get the hell out of Judea when you see the Roman army coming. Don't try to fight them. A lot of us tried to fight, and we ended up getting slaughtered because the Lord wasn't with us. This was a prophecy by Christ. What color are the letters?
Red.
The letters are red, so you know Christ is speaking. Go ahead.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And
let them depart out. Get the hell out of there. Quickly, get the hell out of there. Don't stand there and try to fight the Roman army. Get out of there. Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter thereunto.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance.
The days of what?
For these be the days of vengeance.
The days of vengeance, man. They're coming to take us out. This is a prophecy of destruction right here. This is a fulfillment of destruction, man. And all of this had to happen. All of this had to happen. Why? Because we broke a covenant back with Moses. Go ahead, Al.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
All things that are written may be fulfilled. What was written? What was written? Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Let's just get one. Let's just get one of these curses. The Lord said that if we did not follow his covenant, if we did not walk in his ways, and we sealed this covenant with blood, man. We sealed this covenant with Most High, said we will walk in his statutes, his commandments, and be his people. We would never have another God. And if we would ever go against that, then this prophecy had to be fulfilled. The destruction is not. All of this is prophecy. Us going into slavery, going into Africa, going up in Europe, being gladiators, being slaves, all of that is a fulfillment of Deuteronomy, of the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 23. But woe unto them that are with child.
Woe unto them that are with child. If you look, we had to get up out of there fast, man. We had to get out there right away. The Roman hordes was down upon us, man. Woe to them that are with child. Go ahead.
And to them that give suck.
To them that give suck. To the baby that is on the breast. You about to have a hard time. Because you got to get out of there with that child. Go ahead.
In those days, for there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon his people.
Look, there was great distress and wrath upon us, man. We was filling up the slave markets. Those were the people that decided to fight and go against the prophecy of Christ. Those who went had great suffering because we had to pass by the land. Rome was after us, man. The hordes of Rome. Rome back then would be like white America today. Like they was hunting us down, man. And they had provinces all over the Middle East. That's why we had to go down into West Africa to get away from Rome. That's what it says in Babylon to Timbuktu. Wait a minute. Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. That's what we was fleeing from. Death. The death of the white man. That's why we flee down in Africa, because the Lord wasn't with us. And the ones that were taken into slavery up in Europe, we're going to find out what happened to them too. All right? So let's get one of the curses, though, of what happened to us. Let's get that Deuteronomy. Where you at?
It's chapter 28, verse 64.
All right, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 64.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
The Lord scattered us amongst all people. Look, all of these other races of people raised up and put us into slavery, man. Because the Lord had them raised up against us. The Arabs raised up and they put us in a terrible slavery, man. Them Arabs tore us up, man. They tore us to pieces. You understand? Their slavery, I don't know. The white man slavery and the Arab slavery, man, like the Arab would cut our rods off, man, to be around that woman. Like we had to guard their what they call them, harems. Mm-hmm. We couldn't guard their harems with a rod. Oh. Like they just completely mauled us, humiliated us. Man, we was in such degradation, man. Look. All these other nations rose up to put us into slavery, man, and destroy us. Just like they still are today.
Right.
Chinese people know we in distress. They know we destroyed out here, man, on drugs, killing each other. You think they give a damn? No. They came in and took them businesses. They ain't give a damn. Don't have the nickel, no. Can I do? No, they won't let us go for a dime or a nickel, man. Right. They know we poor. Right. They know we hurting, man. Yeah, you still got some more of that? Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
From one end of the earth, even unto the other.
The Lord spread us all over the earth, on the islands of the earth, different continents of the earth. He spread us. Why? To punish us, to put us under the nations. Go ahead.
And then thou shalt serve other gods.
Thou shalt serve who?
Other gods.
Other gods. So here in America, we serve other gods. We don't serve the Most High. Who do we serve?
other God.
Go ahead.
Which neither thou nor thy father have known.
All thy fathers have known. Go ahead.
Even wood and stone.
Do we not worship that wooden cross? Do we not walk around that stone and rub it while we being fake Muslims and fake Christians? Will the Ku Klux Klan not crucifying us and burning crosses in our yard, man?
Right.
Was they not doing that? We was worshiping that wooden cross. We worship the same wooden cross that the Ku Klux Klan burning our goddamn yard, man. That's how simple we are. And this is a prophecy that we will worship that wood and that stone, that cobblestone, that Muslim cobblestone. We got to walk around 7 times, bang our head on the ground, and rub the stone.
Right.
And talk about we love Muhammad, who was a illiterate camel jockey. We'd rather be that than be God, kings, and priests in the Bible, man.
Right.
Come on, you done with that?
Come on.
It's some more of that?
65.
That's that. Look, that's just one of the curses that was going to happen to us. That we was going into slavery, we wasn't going to be able to see our kids, they would sell our kids. Everything that happened to us in America, everything that happened to us when we scattered through the other nations happened because of Deuteronomy 28. All right? All right? Now, when we got up in Europe after Severus Simius toppled Rome, something started to happen. Of course, we are the Jews of the Bible. So we started to rule. We had ruling families in Europe. The white man is a liar. Look, chivalry, integrity, courage all come from black culture, out of the Bible. The white man got our records, and he started putting himself up as being chivalrous. The black knights that were in Europe, that was us. The black knights. The white man will put on some armor, some black armor, and say that that's a black knight. Nonsense, man. Nonsense. Look, we are the saints of that Bible. If you cannot be a saint if you are not a Jew, a black man. If you are not Israel, you cannot be a saint. Right here, you're looking at Saint Maurice and Saint Gregory. These are saints, men of influence in Europe. In Europe, their paintings are there. One in Germany, one in the Netherlands. Their paintings are there. All right? White folks can no longer say that they didn't know black people until they went down in Africa and we were swinging on trees. We didn't have shelter. They gave us shelter. We were kings in Europe. Give me Romans 9, 4 and 5. Find out about this chivalry, man, in the Bible. Romans 9, 4 and 5. Go ahead.
Romans 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption?
To whom pertaineth the adoption, man? The people that are to be adopted back into Christ, they are Israelites. That's why it says, who are Israelites? Christ came for Israel. That's why the adoption only pertains to Israel. Go ahead.
And the glory.
And the glory, the chivalry, the integrity, the courage, the glory of that Bible, what David did to Goliath, what Joshua did to get the homeland of Israel, all of that glory that is God's belongs to Israel, man. Belongs to black people. That's our glory. Go ahead.
And the covenants.
And the covenants. The only people to make a covenant with God a promise with God to be his people, blacks and Hispanics, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the giving of the law.
The giving of the law. The only people that can give the law, be a judge, be a saint. The white man gets his entire society out of the Bible. We were judges in the Bible. Give me a famous person that was a judge. Samson. Samson was from that era. Go ahead.
Well, he was a judge, Daniel.
He was Daniel. That's right. He was Daniel. He was from the tribe of Dan, which were the judges. We are the judges. The white man has judges over to judge us who judge unrighteously. Because white people cannot be judges because they are unrighteous.
Right.
They can never be righteous. Now the Lord's judges, when the Lord's judges judge, and we in order, and the Lord is with us, we judge righteously. All right? Go ahead, Al.
And the service of God.
And the services of God. We're the ones that should be praising and serving God because we are his saints. We are his saints. And get me Psalms 148 and 13.
Psalms 148, verse 13.
What you looking at are black saints of Europe. We were warrior-like, man. We wore the armor, the glitter, the gold. That was us. That's all in the Bible. The headband he got on is glorious. That headband is glorious. That's what we wore. We wore that headgear. Who else would wear something like that but a black man? Who would have that much swag and that much prowess and be that sure of himself to wear a glorious headband like that? Only a black man. Go ahead.
And it's tilted.
And it's tilted. And that's the swag that we have. Look, you tilt your baseball hat to the back, everybody on earth do it.
Right.
Even though we are at the bottom, everybody hates us. Nobody helps black people.
Right.
Even though we at the bottom, everybody still follows us. They wear what we wear, they talk like we talk, and they hate us at the same damn time.
Right.
We still run the music industries. We are still the athletes. We supposed to be the ones ruling. But look, white people messed up and slipped. That's why they keep their foot firmly on our necks to this day. Because this will happen. 10 years out of slavery, we built cities. How you been enslaved for 200 some odd years, and 10 years later you building cities like Black Wall Street in Detroit and Chicago. You building straight up cities. You understand?
Right.
Car factories, airports, owning coal mines and gold mines. 10 years out of slavery, after you haven't been educated, it was illegal to educate you for 200 years. Man, get out of here. The white man has to keep his foot on our neck so that we do not rise as a people. Now, as an individual, you may, and as an individual, you want to get the hell away from the poverty and away from your brothers and sisters. So you move out there with white folks and spend your money with them. All right, where you at? Psalms 48, 13.
Psalms 148, verse 13. Let them praise the name of the Lord, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the heaven. His glory is above the earth and heaven.
His glory. His glory. The glory that belongs to us, man. We are supposed to incite that glory by our victories. Go ahead.
He also exalted the horn of his people.
He exalted the horn of his people. The best of his people, man. The best of his people. Go ahead.
The praise of all his saints.
The praise of all his who?
Saints.